What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer. Taking a look at this deck that I played a while ago, but I'm actually revisiting it now, and like I really want to do a last second switch to this to YCSLA like so badly. So I whipped this deck up today. Again, it's something I kind of played a little bit earlier, but the new ritual came out, like White Zoa, I think it's called, and the card is just gnarly. Like it makes a huge difference in the deck, and I think I won like 5 of 6 matches or something with it. I mean, I just want a crazy tear. Super Poly is a nuts card. The Ritual is a nuts card. The Spellbook cards are crazy, and I kind of run like a little tiny engine in there with Witchcrafters that you'll probably see at one point. But yeah, like Nibiru is such a good card against this, and even my opponent didn't really have it. I had Super Poly, and that's another really good card to kind of counter Kashtira. But I can normal summon. I can go into the new continuous spell that searches both the Ritual monster and a Dogmatika card. I mean, that's ridiculous. That is crazy. The amount of plussing that you get off of that alone is unreal. So he's going to try to go to the battle phase. I'm just going to Super Poly, right? Go into Garua. No reason to rush. Super Poly is a super good card against this deck, and I could have Ritual summoned the turn before, but I was under Shifter, and I just thought that Super Poly was pretty much good enough to get me through whatever I needed to, and it did. Here's the other game against this. And then I'm going to show like Labyrinth has a decent matchup against Lab. Again, Super Poly and Imperm are super good. Like the adventure stuff, I don't know, man. Like I don't think you need to play the adventure. Like the Kashtira is crazy. Like, do you really need to play it like a supplemental engine here? I'm not sure, but I mean, I personally don't think so. Obviously, so he's gonna go for the adventure line. Like, I don't think he's gonna be able to keep playing. Now he had Fenrir in his hand, but that is whatever it is. I'm just gonna go ahead and normal summon here. I was gonna see if he had an Ash or whatever, or if I could get him to a Rise Heart. Although I guess it is what it is. He can't respond to that. So as a Rise Heart's out of the way, his Griffin Riders gone, I guess. That's crazy, of course. Oh, that's right. He had used this to like hard make a Rise Heart. I was like, I forgot how they got to the board, but yeah. And then of course, right, just Super Poly's insane. You can't respond to it. And yeah, he had obviously he had Griffin Rider, which is kind of funny. Here's the Ritual, 4,000 attack. That is no joke. And, Spellbook of Fate is super good too. But I can send cards from my extra deck. I can send cards from his extra deck. These two cards, I really, I think I want to play this deck so badly in real life. I just don't know if I can find these cards in time. That's my problem. Well, I guess I'll just have to see. I don't know. But here's my little engine, and I guess this is the unfortunate part about it. Like, this is something that you want to bring out from the deck. There's a level 2 Witchcrafter that tributes itself to bring it from deck. You have to discard a spell, so that works out pretty well. He's going to go for Big Welcome Labyrinth. Of course, I'm just going to go ahead and negate there. Trying to see if I can assemble lethal, but I don't think that's going to happen. And one thing I think is the best is, like, Ash is super good against this deck, of course. But just sitting on your board, like the more aggressive you are, the worse it is. And I think I get Lava Golemed here, kind of showcasing that exact philosophy. Like, if you can just assemble lethal in one turn, Lightning Storm and get rid of him that way, like there's so much merit to that. But I'm going to go ahead and, draw a couple cards here, go into attack position. He's going to go for Welcome Labyrinth. That's fine, right? I can just crash. Like, once you get on par with the Labyrinth, then you're like really killing it at this point. I think he's gonna set one, and like this is it. Like, this is the way that you go after Labyrinth. In this case, I could have Lightning Storm, but I'm thinking, well, I don't think he's gonna be able to do anything in one turn. Certainly not a lethal amount. So I'm just gonna wait until I have my lethal line, and then just go for it. Right? Lightning Storm gets rid of Dogmatika Punishment, which is just an okay card, truthfully. I don't have it in this deck. But I'm going to go ahead and normal summon. Grab Invocation. I can go into Magistus here. Invocation for Makaba. I think I actually had a light in graveyard, so it didn't really matter. And then I can go for Nadir Servant. So I can draw me a card, which is always fantastic. It's such a crazy interaction, obviously. And then I can go for Dogmatika Matrix, which is always a good thing. So Invocation can go ahead and go through. This is fine. Like, this is just an lethal amount because I'm going to be able to special summon Fleur. This goes to 3,000. This goes to 2,000. And then I can attack boost with Alistair. So you're being able to assemble lethal happens really, really fast. Let's go to Traptrix and also the more casual stuff. Couple games. I love this card's crazy. Like, I definitely am gonna see if I can find this card. Yeah, Hey Trunade, super good. He's gonna go for Parallel Exceed, and it's off to the races. I mean, that's not great, but I mean, I feel pretty good, right? When you can stop them from getting this card exactly from searching it, like, you got to feel pretty good. I think he had like a lot of extenders, but sometimes the more extenders the better, because it kind of makes their like end board a little just like pedestrian, I guess. He grabs Spellbook of Secrets, but like, that's fine. It's really not a big deal because it's gonna end up in my graveyard, so it's just kind of fuel for Spellbook of Fate. Doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I guess he gets to draw a card, and that's not cool, but he's going to go for Ash Blossom there. I can go for a Magistus and then send a couple cards. I draw into another Spellbook of Knowledge. That's unfortunate. And I think I was running it at 3 at this point. I think I run this card at 2 now, and I kind of just think that's a little bit better. But, yeah, I'm going to stop that Nadir Servant from going through. And it's really crazy, like, what I'm able to accomplish here. I think he's going to go and go for this new card, which banishes, but actually kind of helps me out. I mean, it doesn't help me, but it doesn't do anything. Like, he definitely has, like, no patience. So I can search 2 Dogmatika cards. Again, absolutely absurd. And then I can go for Dogmatika Calamity. And then he's going to send half his extra deck to the graveyard. And then he's going to send another 2. So he's down to 5. I draw a card. Of course, it's Spellbook of Secrets. And then I rip another one. So, yes, like, he is definitely ahead in terms of card advantage. But I've gotten rid of his, like, best recursion. He doesn't really have anything left in the extra deck. He got rid of his Zeus, and I think he has 1 Plant 4 left. But this actually got brought back during my turn, so I can just search Fleur, which is really cool. He's going to go for it, and so I'm going to go ahead and negate there. And I think that's just kind of all she wrote, right? Like, this card isn't doing anything, obviously. It can't be activated. And, like, his extra deck is gone. Like, that's how good this card is. It's kind of stupid, right? Not stupid. It's great. Like, it's really, really good. Okay, so let's keep going here. Here's the other game against Traptrix. And I'm going to go for Magical Meltdown. Of course, that's a good start. And when you see Parallel Exceed, you know it's even better. One thing that I've added in this deck since the last time I played it is Shaddoll Schism. It's unbelievable, like, how easy it is to put up Winda. It's, like, insultingly easy. And, you know, just being able to make Heat Soul that can't be destroyed by card effects is, like, good in and of itself. I should have summoned this to one of these zones, right? It gives Heat Soul an attack boost, so kind of just a light misplay, not really a misplay. But, you know, I'm going to go for Spellbook of Judgment. So I'm going to be able to bring out, I think I'm only going to be able to activate 1 spell, but that's okay. So I'm going to send probably 2 cards here. I'm going to send Herald, and I'm going to search App Cologne. I can send Alistair to the graveyard. Doesn't really matter. I don't think I use the effective Invocation Engrave. So I'm now going to be able to draw a card, and look at that. Look at these extenders. I mean, that's just so crazy. And all I need is 2, right? I need 2 bodies. And I'm pretty much good to go here. Oh, no, I was only able to activate 1 spell. But that's okay, right? It's just this card is no longer a brick in the deck off the top. I get to draw an extra card during my opponent's turn. Tons and tons of follow-up. So, yes, he does have evenly matched, but nothing on the board was crazy important. I mean, losing the... I mean, yeah, I mean, it's, of course, it's like a bad trade-off, quote-unquote, but not really. My opponent's going to, you know, special summon, and then he's going to go for the trap card. So even After all of that, right? After the evenly matched, it's just nothing. It doesn't. I have 6 cards in my hand. One of them's a draw too. One of them searches me a card that banishes on the field. I hadn't even brought out the ritual yet, so I worked out very well, of course. Here's a match I had against Plunder Patroll. Definitely a matchup I feel super comfortable with. This is okay. I mean, this is actually really good, especially when you see Maximus and you have access to it. It opens up a whole new world of possibilities, of course. So I can go ahead and just normal summon there. He's going to Ash. Okay, that's fine. So I'm going to go for Almirage, and I'm going to be able to at least draw a card, and also Maximus is going to be online. So Maximus is equal to Shaddoll Winda. That card alone can win you like duels. It's so funny, right? Winda just like can't be destroyed by card effects. Like, that's so random. Like, why is that a thing? But yeah, sure, why not? This is just follow up. I can draw a card. It ends up being Spellbook of Secrets. So I really want to see if I can find that ritual spell. So I'm going to go ahead and test it out here. I know I'm getting into Nadir Servant, so super worth it. I can send Titanclad, which is absurdly strong. There's so many good cards to draw off the top of your deck, so it definitely was a risk worth taking, especially when I sent the 2 most important cards from my extra deck and, you know, the potential to draw into some just game-altering cards. This goes to 3,300 attack. It can't be destroyed by card effects. My opponent sends half their extra deck. I send 1 more, and that's such a good feeling. Like, just like your opponent sends cards, are like, ugh, I can't only afford to have these cards, right? Definitely going to be some 1-ups at that point, and then you can just grab it, you know, or you can send something from yours, but most of the time you won't. Again, here comes evenly matched. Here's Shaddoll Schism. Like, hello and goodbye. He's going to go for Flashing Fire. That's fine, right? He can't attack or anything, and I feel pretty good about that. I have Effect Veiler. I think off the top I actually grab an Ash, and that was also an Ashable card because I think it draws you 1. So I'm going to go ahead and, like, once I attack over that, he's never going to be able to go into, like, really anything, right? You can only special summon 1 time, and that's not good. And I have, you know, Dogmatika. So I didn't really exactly have the line to lethal right in front of me, but definitely enough to make my opponent just kind of like scoop. Just that frustrating evenly match wasn't enough. These 2 cards are good to see in the hand. I have plenty of interruptions, so that's definitely an advantage of this deck. You get to play a bunch of hand traps. Yeah, look at this. Isn't that crazy? Okay, so here comes Spellbook of Judgment. And while my opponent has 1 card, that's a really good sign for me. So I can go ahead and activate Nadir Servant. That's going to pop 1 of his back row, right? Just whatever it ends up being. It is a dimensional barrier. The ritual hurts, right? But it's really not the end of the world. I can still sense a lot of like interruption. He's going to go for the fusion. I'm going to go ahead and Ash, right? I think it's also a draw effect. And I can go for Herald. That's going to search me Alba Zoa. Oh, I'm going to go for... When I'm going second, I forgot about that. I actually side out Schism, right? It's not a good going second card. It would have looked great right now, but yeah, it did not work out. I don't think it would have worked. But I'm going to go ahead and imperm again, right? Just all these hand traps, and he's going to try to negate the hand trap. I'm going to negate again with Fleur. And then, yeah, I mean, that's got to be frustrating, but that's the whole thing. You got a bunch of hand traps, and then all of these like super good cards. And I'll just play 1 more against Scareclaw, and that'll be it. But definitely a big fan of this deck. Kind of hoping that I can maybe make it happen. Oh, this is not even Scare. This is... Let's finish off with Punk. Why not? I think this is one where I definitely have Super Poly. Kind of good, kind of not good to see this card. He is going to go and Ash that. That's okay. I mean... You know, it's definitely unfortunate on some level, but not the end of the world by any stretch of the imagination. You know, I can go for Garua. Garua's going to search me, draw me a card. Very, very strong. It was another copy of Secrets. So is what it is. But App Cologne is going to search me. He ends up sending a couple of cards here, a couple of rank 8s. Don't know what he's playing, but okay. So I'm going to go for Ecclesia, and Ecclesia can search me Fleur. So this is going to turn into the Witchcraft during my opponent's turn. So it's really not the worst normal summon of all time. Right, this is like a on the field skill drain, and this kind of seems like an extreme thing to do, but it's definitely not terrible, right? Being able to get rid of his Zeoman, I think, made a big difference, and you know, with Schism coming, I can't imagine that's not insane. Now, of course, look at that, Called by the Grave. That is rough. But I mean, most like when you stop Zeoman, that's a very like big choke point. They have to have some very specific cards in their hand. He'd have triple tackle talents, and that's not good. But I do still have Fleur. I have one more answer for something that comes out of the extra deck. He ends up going into Psychic and Punisher, which I don't know. Of course, triple tactics thrust too. Why not? I don't think this is the right move. It doesn't feel like the right move, at least. It's an Ash Blossom. That could come in handy. So I'm going to go ahead and activate, you know, Maximus to get rid of his Gaboo. Where's the freaking Gabagoo? It's right there. And he's going to go for Ogre Dance. I have the Ash, so otherwise it would have been a play starter. But he's going to go ahead and get rid of this Maximus. This can't be destroyed. This Ecclesia cannot be destroyed here, so that's a good thing. So I'm going to go for that. So I can go for Secrets, right? Non-targeting banishment is huge. I just need to lower my life points lower than his. I'm going to be able to do that right here and then get rid of it. Not the best situation in the world, right? Fleur is like kind of an answer, not really an answer. He's going to set, so that's definitely a good thing. I don't even know if I would if I was him, right? I think if you just like maybe hold the Ash, if that's what it is. I don't remember what it was, but this is definitely the end of the duel. I'm impressed with the results of this. I mean, I don't play competitive decks, so I don't really see win percentages above 60, but I have one so far. It was Ash. Like, you definitely, the duel would not have been over if you didn't Ash me there. But I'm not complaining. I'll take the victory royale. I think he ended up just like quitting. I didn't even get the end of the match, so I ended up winning that one. But yeah, that is maybe the deck I'm taking with me to LA. Depends on if I could find these cards in a day. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Other than that's going to do it for today's video, and I'll see you guys next time.